Justice Revolt says, what kind of microphone do you recommend? Okay, so this is a contextual question, right? One of the things that comes down is what is the context in which you're going to be capturing audio? So my first professional dedicated microphone is actually the one that I'm using right now. This is the Audio-Technica AT897. This here is a shotgun microphone, just so you can kind of see. This is the microphone that I have used for over a decade. Now, not this particular microphone. In fact, I use these microphones so much that I've busted at least a couple of them and I've replaced them. And throughout the years, they've almost always cost the same amount of money. And so they're high quality microphones. Now, the trick is that these microphones are XLR 3-pin type of connection that this sort of microphone would essentially be connecting to. So right now, the way that I'm capturing this audio within the context of this kind of video, which is a talking head type of setup in a home office studio type of setting, essentially I have the microphone, I have an XLR cable that is now going into a Zoom. It's a recorder essentially, right? But then that Zoom audio is then feeding a line out into my computer, into the computer's microphone input. At the same time, this camera is feeding an HDMI signal into my computer using a Camlink Elgato 4K HDMI USB converter. And then I'm having OBS Studio synchronize it. I'm also using a plugin called NVIDIA Broadcast. So with 3 systems, as well as a fan overhead, which is off right now, there tends to be a lot of environmental noise. So what NVIDIA Broadcast as a plugin does, it eliminates all of that, and you get this clean audio. I've actually ran it through another layer of AI processing, which is audio from Adobe, which is Audio Enhanced AI, in which it will just kind of like do a lot of the processing. This just saves me so much more time. I can just focus on the content and not worry about the technical process of processing the audio. This is one of my microphones I use on the regular, not just for this kind of talking head type of setting, but I'll also use it in an action or documentation setting in which I can run around with gear.
You don't take down, you pay my lunch.
No, listen, if he takes you down, he buys you lunch.
Good deal.
Come on, Pedro.
Deal, yes.
Good deal, Pedro.
No.
If he takes you down.
Again is good. I know, he started single leg?
Yeah.
I understand.
Okay, let's go.
Wait, no, you start on the side.
So I will have my camera in one hand and I'll have the microphone on like a short boom pole in the other hand, so I can capture my audio. And this really comes in handy whenever I am recording any kind of stuff with relation to content for martial arts. So any kind of martial arts channel, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, even my Strength Dojo channel. Sometimes when I have the opportunity, I will bring this mic with me to capture some of the audio directly. You need something that just plugs directly into your camera. You're not considering even doing all the fancy smashy stuff with XLR and Zoom and NVIDIA Broadcast and Adobe AI. If you're not going to do any of that, you just want something to plug into a camera. My next recommendation is this guy right here. This is the Deity D3 Pro. Now, the audio quality that comes out of this is not bad. It's actually pretty good. The big part about this is mic placement. Even if I were to place this right here, I could get similar quality. And I can process it in the same way with relation to skip all the NVIDIA Broadcast stuff. Let's say you recorded it directly into the camera with the Deity D3 Pro attached on top like a shotgun mic.
Let's just get to the Zoom.
I'm mad. There's nothing I can do to speed things up right now. I'll share the joke. The joke was, if you fast on February 14th, you'll have a date by Maghrib time, which is at sunset. That's a mom joke, not a dad joke. It's a mom joke.
I saw it on Twitter.
But let's say you get something a little bit longer, audio cable, and you place the mic here, and then you run the cable into the camera as such, then that proper microphone placement will get you near identical quality, especially if you're comparing it to audio that's captured in the camera with relation to what we're doing here, so long as you also process it using something like Adobe AI or voice enhanced type of stuff. So One of the things I like about this is that it's super portable. I've had this for a couple of years, actually. It's the Deity D3 Pro. It's got volume control. The reason for that is, with relation to Canon cameras, is that they have a digital noise floor, which essentially gives you a lot of electronic background hiss, right? If you turn up the audio volume internally on the camera, then you'll also be raising that hiss volume. And so having a volume control on something like a DD3 Pro, I think even Rode has something comparable, but I've never used a Rode, so I couldn't tell you how it compares. But it's the same idea where when you turn that volume up on the microphone and then feed that into Canon and turn the Canon volume down as low as you possibly can, then it'll give you relatively clean audio without a lot of that background hiss. Instead of having to set it to like in the middle, you can set it on the lower end, but because you're getting essentially a loud signal, then the quality of that audio coming into your camera is going to be really nice, sweet, clean, and then you process it through something like Adobe Enhance AI, and it's going to just sound great. Now, option number 3 is something called another one. This here is the Tascam DR10L, right? Now, this is a body pack. It's not a wireless transmitter. It is essentially a recorder that comes with a very good quality microphone, and it's powered by a single AAA battery, which might give you close to 2 hours of runtime. It records 24-bit RAW, and so it's high quality audio. You can set it up to record 2 files at the same time, one at the regular volume and another one at a lower volume. So in this case, if by any chance you peak out the audio, like you get really loud or the environment gets really loud and all your audio is completely blown out, now you'll also have a second file that's a little bit quieter, so that way you can recover some stuff if you're looking to do some of that in the edit. Only downside of using something like this is that it will require you to synchronize the audio in the edit with whatever footage that you captured on camera, because again, this is not a transmitter. This is literally a body pack that records audio locally here. It does not send the audio to the camera itself. And so for that reason, when you bring in your video file into your editor like Premiere or something like that, then what you have to do is you have to bring both the audio file and the video file into the timeline, highlight, right click, synchronize, and then Adobe is able to detect where the audios match up, and then it'll synchronize the audio. But that's the additional step that you will have to take in order to get the best really good quality audio to pair with your camera. Now, let's say you don't care about recording on your person, you just want a portable audio that you can transmit wirelessly. Now, that brings us to our next option, which is the Rode Wireless Go. Now, the Rode Wireless Go essentially are these wireless transmitters and receiver, a transmitter and receiver. What you're looking at here is version 1 or Mark 1. Since, I believe this model is discontinued, Rode has come out with a version 2, as well as a new portable version, like a cheaper version, which is, I guess, similar to this. Now, the difference between the original version and version 2 is that version 2 will also record internally while also transmitting wirelessly. So that's a huge perk. It's super convenient in the sense that if for any reason that your audio went out because your things stopped recording or whatnot, at least it'll still be transmitting wirelessly. One of the things I do like about the Rode is that there's an attachment accessory that you can purchase. So this here is a little attachment accessory that it's essentially you can take a magnet, and it allows you to then, a situation like this where you're not wearing a sport coat or a blazer or internal breast pocket or anything like that for you to clip it onto, right? And a lot of times you'll see some YouTubers, they've got this janky looking thing just kind of sticking, or they might do something along the lines of this looks terrible, right? So one of the perks of having a magnet is that if you're wearing an undershirt, right? So you stick the magnet here, and then you stick the transmitter underneath on your body like that, right? And for the most part, you can kind of sort of hide it or not have it be as prominent as something else, right? So even if you have a sport coat or breast pocket, you can stick it in there and it would still be relatively less distracting than having the thing be sticking out in front. You can take the Rode Wireless Go transmitter and receiver. You can plug the receiver into the camera, and then the transmitter you can connect to the body pack. So now you can record from here, right? And you can transmit that same feed into the transmitter, into the line out, because you can also plug a microphone into this. But if you have a recorder, you have a backup recording and you have a transmitter that allows you to then do both. You get good high quality recording and you get the transmission going into the camera, getting a direct feed. So even if you want to synchronize and edit later, all of that stuff just becomes a lot more easier. You're just having to deal with more gear. But like I said, this is an older version. The only reason I would do that is because these don't record internally. The new version, Mark II, they do record internally. And I do understand that Rode recently came out with a simpler version of this. I don't know if it records internally, but if it doesn't, that to me would be a no-go unless you're just looking for a wireless receiver and transmitter. Next option, this is my favorite option. This is my go-to default option. I carry this with me everywhere I go in my bag. This is the DJI wireless microphone transmitter and receiver. Now, the good thing about the DJI is that it comes with two of them, right? As soon as you open it, the wireless transmitter and receiver are already synchronized with each other. So what you would do is you would take one of these. Now, good thing about this is that you can take this guy. This is the receiver. You can plug this either into your camera or your phone. You see this connection right here, right? It's a USB-C connection. It also comes with, I guess, the iPhone connection as such, and it also has a headphone and line out jack. So the line out goes into your camera, and if your camera does not have a headphone jack, boom, that's resolved right here. If you so choose to monitor your audio using this particular device. Now, the other perk is that it comes with two transmitters as opposed to just one, right? And the good thing about that is, let's say you want to do an interview and you're recording. What you can set up the receiver to do is you can receive each signal in its own channel. So usually cameras record left and right stereo, and so essentially you convert the signal from that into left and right channels. So if you want to do any editing, extract the audio, process it, make it a little bit better, run it through Adobe Enhance AI, then you can do that. And you have the option of doing a recording, an uncompressed WAV file internally as well. Now, one of the reasons I like this, because it by default comes with these magnets that are on here, right? And so, as you can see, I've been using this quite a bit, but it comes with this magnet. And so, just like the example that I had shown a moment ago, because this is smaller in comparison to the Rode Wireless Go, right? So this is just to kind of give you an idea. It's almost half the size, right? This is the DJI mic, this is the Rode mic. And so in terms of thickness, it's about the same, but it's about half the size. So therefore, if you're trying to hide this on your person, so such as, you put it on underneath, you stick the magnet on your undershirt, for example, right? And it is a little bit less distracting than when compared to the Rode Wireless Go, which tends to be a little bit bigger. So that's one of the reasons I like this. I also like it for the fact that it records internally. This, for me, is also an excellent backup whenever I'm recording. So in the context of, say, recording something like a lecture, right, or a sermon, or an instructional, where somebody might be presenting for quite a while.
We're going to transition to the audience questions.
You had one more.
Let's do one more.
You want to do that one more? Let's do that one more, yeah.
So let's.
I think we should have one more, right? We should give Pastor Thabiti a chance.
But let's make a pact to be brief so we can make sure
I
that
want
the
to try to be
students
as
can
brief
get
as
it in.
possible.
Okay, I'll do my best. Not that you haven't been brief. I haven't been. So
No, I have that tendency. Yeah.
The one more question is, Pastor T, what question would you like to ask of Fahad?
What I will do is I will have, by default, the Tascam recording their main audio internally as a body pack. And then I will also put on them the DJI mic that'll also record internally and transmit a wireless signal to the camera, all of it as a backup. So if for any reason my Tascam fails, I'll have the internal recording of the DJI mic. And at the same time, I'm also getting a wireless signal to the camera, so I have redundancy with relation to the audio recording. And this is something that's necessary, especially when you're recording someone in a maybe dynamic setting where you don't have full control. And so they might be on stage and you're in a room with 400 other people. And so it's not like you need to get up on stage, hey, let me just double check your mic. Like, yeah, you don't have that option. And so having these kind of redundancies is definitely very much helpful to secure the audio and ensuring that your project is in good hands. So that essentially covers most of the audio. There's one more recommended device, which everybody always has on them, is your cell phone. Cell phone has the ability to record uncompressed raw audio wave. And so just run the thing. And I've not done this on numerous occasions where for whatever reason, maybe once or twice, I forgot to pack this, right? Normally it's always in my bag, but like in a situation like this where I took it out, I wanted to transfer some of the files, but I forgot to put it back in my bag. If you're looking to find out whether or not the G7X Mark III is the camera for you, or should you be considering the alternatives, then this video is for you. I have my cell phone with me, and so if I'm recording on a camera or something, right, or an Insta360, I can just use the audio from my cell phone to get decent quality audio, and then I'd synchronize that with my camera or whatever video device I was recording, and that way I'll get good and decent quality audio. So these are the microphones that I use for different contexts and settings regularly. Now, forgot to mention one more context is with relation to travel. So whenever I'm traveling, whether it's to see family, friends, or for work, there's two microphones I always take with me. I will take with me my DJI wireless mic, and I will also take the Deity D3 Pro, which will be essentially mounted on top of my camera. Now, the thing that always you need to be cognizant of if you talk about mounting a microphone on top of the camera is that whatever lens that you're pairing with the camera is a quiet lens. And so if you have a lens that makes a lot of clickety clackety type of noises, then that's also going to be captured on the body. Just as a recap, the different microphones that I have used and I do recommend. Number one is this, the shotgun mic from Audio-Technica, the AT897. The second microphone is the Deity D3 Pro. When I first bought this, it was brand new. I think I paid close to $200 for it. So I don't know how much it goes for now, but I'm sure you can get it for used for less than that. The Deity D3 Pro. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, if you're gonna get the Audio-Technica AT897, you're gonna need something that also, because it's just a microphone, right? And it's XLR, so you're gonna need something that records XLR. So this here is a Tascam DR10X. Has XLR it receives XLR signal and records internally raw. Now, if you're looking for something a little bit more simple, but you want high quality audio recording, get the Tascam DR10L, right? And then it comes with a high quality lapel microphone. If you're looking for something a little bit more simple, not necessarily recording internally, the Rode Wireless Go, or whatever the new version is, whether it's the Rode Wireless Go 2 or something else, there's also a simpler, cheaper version of that. And then you have the DJI wireless microphones. This will probably run you anywhere between $300 to $350, but this has probably been my favorite audio purchase just for the fact that I get high quality audio recording and wireless transmission, and it's regularly charged, and I can use it with both my cell phone and my camera. It's just a matter of swapping out the connectors and you're good to go. I also keep the audio connector for this in my bag. So if you take a look at something like this, It's the connector that has basically your standard audio cable. As a backup in a situation where you forgot everything, you always got your cell phone. So I hope that helps. I hope you find these microphone recommendations useful. Let me know if you have any further questions. You can let me know in the comments below. I'll see you soon.